Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Bhagavad Gita Satsang. Uh, Today's verse is a continuation from past two Bhagavad Gita Satsang that I had taken. So, the verse is from chapter 16, verse 1. So, here in this, there are three verses. The first verse, and total three verses, Lord Krishna describes 26 ennobling qualities which every truth seeker needs to develop so that he goes closer to the realization there is no reality but God and the self that is in him. So last two satsangs, I had covered first quality fearlessness, then purity of heart, and today the third quality I'm going to share inspiration, which is perseverance. So I'll read the interpretation directly because we just started that verse in which it's just the description of all these qualities. Okay. Perseverance in the acquisition of wisdom and in the practice of meditation. This is explained by Swami Kriyanandaji as remembered by his disciple of Paramahansa Yoganandaji. Is a distinct quality demanding the continuous reapplication of willpower to whatever cause one believes to be right and worthy. In its ever newly creative outlook, perseverance is different from stubbornness. Stubbornness is a refusal to re examine the facts and to reappraise one's position with regard to them. Perseverance, this is very important, perseverance means not to allow oneself to be dissuaded or diverted from any worthwhile goal, but to meet every difficulty creatively with new solutions until one's ends have been achieved. Thus, perseverance means to be willing to re examine one's position, if necessary, to correct one's first assumptions and to seek ever new avenues by which any worthwhile goal one has may be achieved. It means being firm in the faith that what is right and true must be eventually come to pass, provided one holds firmly to high principle. So, all of us here who have shown up in person as well as online, we have used our willpower, isn't it, to show up for satsang. And this is perseverance we all are practicing actually and moving towards that goal. Even every day when we meditate, we use willpower. And that's how we move towards, because we know that through the practice of meditation, we will be one with thee at one point. And that's the goal we keep marching on when we actually meditate every day. And it's also similar when we serve. When we serve with an intention of sharing the blessings and giving and not taking, that is also something with an understanding that because of sharing, we are also being blessed, and the one with whom we are sharing, that person also gets blessed. So all this with an understanding and power of meditation, of satsang, of service, there is a willpower every day we are using towards that higher cause in all these practices we've been brought by our guru. Now, is it so that that's it, that the perseverance quality is that much limited? No, because there is duality all around us. We are going to go through the ups and downs of lives, isn't that true? And who is actually going to deal or engage more with the duality which is within us? Our vrittis, right? Our habit patterns, our subconscious memories that we have stored, that is continuously being engaged in this role of duality, that drama that we all call it. So how is it that how can we know that whether we are progressing in having perseverance as a quality on the spiritual path? I would like to share one example, for personal example. So ever since I came to the path, and we all know that there are 4 main techniques we have been given: energization exercises, Hong Sa technique, Om technique, and Kriya Yoga technique. From the beginning itself, and for last couple of years also, it has been very difficult for me to practice energization regularly and Kriya Yoga. Because if you look, these two especially techniques are where you have to put lot of willpower and lot of effort also. So whenever energization part used to come, I used to maybe I'll skip, and maybe I'll do next day, maybe I'll do couple of days in a week. So that went on for a while. The only thing that I had in my heart that yes, I'm irregular in energization exercises, but I want to get back and be regular at it. That's the only willingness I had, but I had no willingness to do them. It's very funny and strange at the same time. So with that thought, I said, okay, now this time when I'll do energization, whenever I will see where my awareness is and what is it that helping me. And of course, master, even though he's given all us these techniques, he won't come, and even if he was present in front of us, he won't say, out of those 4 techniques you are not practicing, this is not done. Because he won't impose on us, I gave you 4 techniques out of which you are doing only 3, why are you not doing the first one? So from that angle, we all are safe. Even though the techniques that are given to us, he's not going to come and impose these techniques on us. So with that thought, I said, okay, let me have more understanding what is it actually happening when I do energization. And I noticed when I put more awareness that it is sort of helping me release all the toxins from my body, especially the stomach recharge. When I found that it just cleanses the gut and gives me more clarity. And then I said, yes, this is a good point wherein the mind is playing a trick by not allowing me to energize regularly. I can hold on to this benefit or practical experience, which I can go back to every time I feel I don't feel like energizing today. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. So that really helped to an extent that every day I thought of skipping energization, I went back to that benefit of energization, which my mind was convinced, yes, this is good for your health. And I have been doing and searching a lot of things about what kind of food you eat, what helps you detox your body, and all those stuff. So that solution actually helped me get back to my energization practices and become regular. And going forward with the similar example of one assignment I had got one few months back, where I was looking at, I don't want to judge anybody or criticize anybody, of course our devotees, and I'm also one of them. But I just want to bring more of perseverance here than criticism or judgment about anybody. So the devotees who I were looking at, they were more like I was asked to call the devotees and for higher kriyas and see what techniques are they doing, how long are they doing and practicing. And I observed most of them were not doing Om technique. And when I called them, one of them, I asked what is the reason that you're not doing Om technique? And then they said, Ever since I got the technique and a few times I tried, I never heard the sound of Om, and it was so demotivating and discouraging that I stopped doing it altogether. But you see here, the point is, this is actually the moment to come back to perseverance, that I will keep at it until I hear the sound of Om. Because all these techniques that Master has brought to us has a potential to reach to a level of cosmic consciousness, whether it's Hongsa technique, whether it's Om technique, whether it's Kriya technique. It can help us have that cosmic consciousness experience. And if we remove one technique from one of the 4 pillars of our path, then we lose that 1/4 chance of actually having that experience. Isn't that true? And this is the moment we have to catch that, okay, something has been told to me and I am trying my best, but when I keep failing, I have to go back and until that goal and the purpose is served. And that's what the explanation also goes, as Swamiji has explained here. And going forward, that is the main point, the explanation that Swamiji has given, that whenever distractions dissuade us, whenever and nowadays if you see, the distractions are all over, especially with internet. We are distracted all the time, and with delusion around the corner, even if we just step out of this place, even if we are surrounded by Guru Bhais, delusion is waiting for us to just catch hold of us. It's that strong, we all also know. So how can we go about in the midst of all the delusions, all the distractions that keep us bound to the body and egoic sense that we are separate from the infinite? And that's where the point comes. And I would also like to share one story of one of the devotees from Ananda. I won't name him, but a devotee from Gurgaon center. During the time of COVID, this devotee lost his son. And Ananda was doing an initiative of having a helpline, if I remember the details and if I'm correct, wherein people who were disappointed and because of the loss, Ananda was trying its best to help those people, talk to them, give them solace, help them share more about our teachings and all that. And this devotee, when he lost his son, soon after, the same next day, he was like, I am in for whatever seva that is going on, the helpline number, that I also want to continue and give solace to all those who are suffering from this pandemic. So that is where the perseverance can come, if we see that in the times of difficulty, in the times of distractions, it's more of that quality that is needed than our daily life. And that's where Swamiji also explains here how creatively you find ways out. That depends whether you are moving and developing that quality, which will ultimately help us to realize that oneness. And another example that I could think of relevant to this quality is whenever someone used to ask Swami Kriyananda ji, that how do you select your ministers? How do you select them? If I'm correct, I'm just, I heard this and that's why I'm sharing it. He used to say that when difficulties and challenges come, those who think about others than themselves first, I know who they are. And they are the one who can actually lead this work of Master. So whenever there is a chance of something that comes to us, we think of ourselves first. What will happen to me? What about me? What is there for me? Then only I can think about others. But that's not the way that Swamiji had said that before, that those who think of others first, they are the ones who can carry on this mission, because we are not in ourselves. We are beyond ourselves and going and expanding our awareness and consciousness beyond that self. And that's how he used to say, because even if we also see the actual time to practice the teachings is the challenging times. In daily life, we have our routines, our life which is integrated with our spiritual practices. But when the real time comes, the challenge comes and difficulty comes, that time we need to reignite the power of meditation, reignite the power of satsang, be in high vibrations. Even if we are unable to meditate, closing our eyes and sitting, just so that we commit ourselves to what we are here for. And lastly, I would just like to not close, we will do an affirmation. Before that, I would like to close with Master's few lines from his cosmic chant, where he says, devotees may come, devotees may go, but I will be thine always. And that is our goal, that we have to instigate all throughout the day. Where we are every day, we have to come back to that, whether I am in this goal or not. And also Swamiji's song, through all trials we sing thy name. God, joy in thee is life's sole aim. That is also true, right? In trials, if we sing the name of God, that is how, where we actually live the teachings. And that's how we are progressing and not coming back. And that's how this quality that Krishna has shared, one of them, that's the parameter for us. Whether in challenging times, are we practicing the teachings? Whether are we getting distracted coming back to the teachings or not. And as Swamiji has said, that try and find out creative solutions whenever such things come. There is one affirmation of Master which we all can do right now, so that just to reaffirm the creative power of God within us, and that can help us overcome all these difficulties. So you can close your eyes and we will do this affirmation first in loud voice, then in normal voice, then in whisper, then mentally, and ultimately at the point between the eyebrows, superconscious level. Okay. The ocean of God's abundance flows through me.
The ocean of God's abundance flows through me.
I am His child.
I am His child.
I am the channel through which all divine creative power flows.
All divine creative power flows.
Now in normal voice, the ocean of God's abundance flows through me. I am His child. I am the channel through which all divine creative power flows. Now in whisper, the ocean of God's abundance flows through me. I am His child. I am the channel through which all divine creative power flows. Now mentally, the ocean of God's abundance flows through me. I am His child. I am the channel through which all divine creative power flows. Now, at the point between the eyebrows, mentally repeat this affirmation, hold it strongly, believing in the power of Master's words. The ocean of God's abundance flows through me. I am His child. I am the channel through which all divine creative power flows. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.